The entire mansion went silent. Not because someone shouted, not because something broke, but because someone did the unthinkable. In the center of the grand living room, under the sparkling gold chandelier, Miss Clarissa, the billionaire's famous fiancée, raised her hand high and sharp, ready to slap another maid like she always did. Everyone froze. The cooks, the cleaners, the guards near the door, even the butler stopped breathing for a moment. They all knew what was coming. Clarissa always slapped someone when she was angry, and today she was very angry. But something strange happened. A hand caught her wrist, not softly, not fearfully, but firmly, like a small tree refusing to bend in a storm. It was the new maid Amaka, a quiet girl, a girl who came only 2 days ago, a girl nobody expected to even lift her eyes, talk less of holding the billionaire fiancé's hand in front of everyone. But here she was, holding Clarissa's raised hand, refusing to let it fall. Every worker gasped. What do you think you're doing?" Clarissa shouted, shocked and shaking in disbelief. But Amaka didn't let go. Her hand stayed strong. Her eyes stayed calm. And then, unknown to everyone, the billionaire himself, Mr. Chika Anderson, stood just outside the hallway, returning from the bathroom. He stopped walking. He heard the noise. He turned his head slowly. Then he saw it. His fiancée, trying to slap a maid. And the maid stopping her. Chike didn't move. He didn't speak. He just watched his heart beating faster because something inside him finally woke up. And the next words Clarissa shouted shook the entire house. "Let go of me, I said let go now." But Amaka's grip did not move. That moment, that single moment, would change everything. And then, a loud gasp echoed through the room, because something even more shocking happened next. Clarissa tried to pull her hand away, but she couldn't. Her face turned red. Her eyes widened. She struggled harder. Still, nothing. Everyone stared at the new maid in disbelief. And from the hallway, Chike whispered to himself, What kind of woman have I been planning to marry?" And just as he stepped forward, someone else walked in behind him. Someone who wasn't supposed to be there. But before we get to who it was, we must go back to the very beginning, because everything that happened in that living room started long before this moment. Long before Amaka ever stepped into the mansion. The story began 3 weeks earlier. Everyone in Lagos knew about Chike Anderson, the young billionaire who owned Anderson Tech. People loved him because he was humble, gentle, and always helped the poor. But not many people loved his fiancée, Clarissa Benson. She was beautiful, she was wealthy, she was famous. But she was also proud. Very, very proud. At the mansion, Clarissa acted like she owned everything, even though nothing there belonged to her. She shouted at workers, insulted them, and slapped them whenever she felt like it. And because they all needed the money, none of them dared to say a word. But Chike never saw her true behavior. Whenever he was around, Clarissa smiled, acted sweet, and pretended to be gentle. She fooled everyone outside the house, but not the people who worked inside. They saw everything. The bullying, the slaps, the wicked threats. Still, they endured it, because they were earning enough to feed their families. Then, one Monday morning, the head housekeeper gathered everyone. "We have a new maid joining us today," she said. "Please be kind to her." The workers looked at each other. "Another maid? She won't last. Clarissa will chase her away like the others." But when the new maid entered, they were surprised. She was calm, quiet, soft-spoken, and something about her eyes looked strong, even though she wasn't trying to show it. Her name was Amaka Nwosu, and she came from a small village to work and send money home for her sick mother. Everyone liked her at once, but they also whispered warnings to her. Stay out of Miss Clarissa's way. Don't talk when she's angry. If she wants to slap you, just accept it. Amaka only nodded politely, but deep inside her, she knew she wouldn't allow anyone to treat her like a rag. Still, she stayed quiet. She worked hard. She avoided trouble, until the third day, when everything changed. It started with something simple. Clarissa misplaced her diamond bracelet and began shouting at everyone. "Who touched my things? Who?" Workers scattered like scared birds. She stormed into the living room, screaming at the maids. She pushed one. She hit another on the shoulder. She insulted everyone. "Useless people, all of you. Then her eyes landed on Amaka. "You new girl, come here." Amaka stepped forward slowly. "Did you touch my bracelet?" Clarissa shouted in her face. "No, Ma," Amaka said softly. Clarissa's face twisted in anger. "You dare talk back to me?" Before anyone could blink, Clarissa raised her hand to slap her. Everyone looked away, too scared to watch. But when the slap came down, it didn't land. Because Amaka's hand shot up and caught it. Firm, steady, unshaking. That was the moment the entire mansion froze. As Clarissa struggled to free her wrist, shocked and embarrassed, something happened behind them all. The person who walked in behind Chike, the one who witnessed everything, said loudly, "So this is how you treat people." Everyone turned. Clarissa's face dropped. Chike's heart stopped. Because the voice belonged to someone who had the power to expose everything, and that person was the last person Clarissa ever wanted to see. The room froze. Clarissa's hand was still trapped inside Amaka's firm grip, and her eyes widened as she turned toward the doorway. Standing beside Chike, with arms folded, eyebrows raised, was Mama Tise, the woman who trained Clarissa when she was younger. People said Mama Tise was the only person Clarissa feared, not because she was wicked, no, but because Mama Tise always told her the truth without fear, even when Clarissa hated hearing it. "Mama Tise?" Clarissa stuttered, her voice suddenly small. But Mama Tise didn't smile. She didn't blink. She just looked at Clarissa, then at Amaka, then back at Clarissa again. "So this is who you have become?" Mama Tise said quietly. Her voice was soft, but it felt like thunder rolling through the room. The workers bowed their heads. Even Chike looked shocked. Clarissa finally yanked her hand free and stepped back, trying to regain her pride. This girl grabbed me first," she shouted, pointing at Amaka. But Mama Tise shook her head slowly. "I saw everything," she said. "And so did he." She tilted her head toward Chike. Clarissa's heart dropped like a stone. Chike's eyes were cold, colder than anyone had ever seen. But he didn't speak yet. He simply stood there, looking at the woman he thought he would marry, the woman he thought he knew. "You promised me you had changed," Mama Tise said. "You promised me you were working on your attitude." Clarissa swallowed hard. I am," she said quickly. "Mama, you know I'm trying." But Mama Tise lifted a hand to silence her. "Trying? By slapping workers? By insulting everyone? By embarrassing yourself in front of your future husband?" The workers lowered their eyes again. Some felt pity for Clarissa. Others felt she finally deserved this moment. Amaka quietly stepped away, hands folded, eyes down. She didn't want trouble, she only wanted respect. But Clarissa wasn't done. She pointed at Amaka again. "This girl disrespected me. Why is everyone defending her? She's just a maid." That statement made the air change. Slowly, Chike's eyes lifted. His voice was soft but heavy. "No one in this house is just anything." Clarissa looked at him, stunned. But he wasn't finished. "Everyone here has a family. Everyone here has feelings. Everyone here works hard. And every one of them deserves respect." Clarissa blinked fast. Clarissa's father, Chief Benson, stepped into the mansion with heavy footsteps. He was a tall, dark-skinned elderly man with strong shoulders and tired eyes. Sweat rolled down his forehead as if he had rushed to get there. His face carried something more than anger. It carried fear, real fear. The workers bowed quietly. Mama Tise stepped aside. Chike stood firm, waiting. But Clarissa's whole body froze. "Daddy?" she whispered. Chief Benson didn't look at her first. He looked straight at Chike. "Sir, I know you don't want trouble today," he said with a trembling voice. "But I beg you, we must talk immediately." Chike frowned. "What is going on?" Chief Benson swallowed hard and turned to his daughter. "Clarissa, why didn't you tell him?" Clarissa shook her head fast. She stepped backward. Her voice cracked. "Daddy, no, not here, not now, please don't." But he ignored her. "Why didn't you tell him the truth?" he asked again, louder this time. Everyone looked at Clarissa. Her lips trembled so much she couldn't speak. Chike stepped closer to her father. "Tell me what?" he asked calmly. Chief Benson sighed deeply. The kind of sigh a man gives when he is tired of hiding. "It's about her past, sir," he said. Clarissa covered her mouth. No, Daddy, please." But the words were already rising in his throat. Words that could destroy everything she had built. Words she had spent years hiding from the world. The workers held their breath. Amaka felt her heart beating faster. Mama Tise folded her arms tightly. Chike's stare went cold. "Chief Benson," he said slowly. "I am listening." Clarissa rushed toward her father and grabbed his arm with shaking hands. "Daddy, stop. You promised you would never say anything." Chief Benson's face twisted with sadness. "I only promised because I thought you had changed," he said. "But now I see. You are hurting people again." Clarissa broke down. "Daddy, please, if you tell him, everything will be ruined." Chief Benson gently removed her hands from his arm. Then he faced Chike again. "My daughter is not the woman you think she is," Clarissa screamed. "Stop, please." But the truth had already escaped her father's lips. Chief Benson wiped his forehead and continued. "Sir, years ago, before she met you, Clarissa caused a terrible problem in our town." The workers exchanged looks. Chike narrowed his eyes. "What kind of problem?" Chief Benson swallowed again. "There was a young girl who worked for us, just like this maid here." He pointed weakly toward Amaka. Clarissa shut her eyes tightly and shook her head over and over. "Daddy, don't, Daddy, please, I'm begging." But he went on. "One day, my daughter accused the girl of stealing her jewelry. Just like today," she shouted. "She slapped her. She punished her in front of everyone." Chike's heart dropped. The workers murmured. Mama Tise closed her eyes. But that wasn't the end. Chief Benson's voice cracked as he continued. "But sir, the girl didn't survive it." The room went dead silent. Clarissa gasped for air, like she had been stabbed. No, Daddy, you said we should never talk about it." Amaka stepped forward without meaning to. "You mean the girl died?" Chief Benson nodded slowly, tears gathering in his eyes. "She collapsed while trying to run away from Clarissa's beating. We rushed her to the hospital, but she didn't make it." Chike's body stiffened. He stared at Clarissa in total disbelief. "Is this true?" he whispered. Clarissa opened her mouth to speak, but her voice was gone. Her knees buckled. Mama Tise looked at her with pain in her eyes. "Clarissa, is this why you fear being corrected?" Clarissa finally screamed. "I was only 17. I didn't mean to hurt her." But her father shook his head. "You may not have meant to kill her, but you meant to hurt her. You meant to shame her. You meant to make her feel small." Clarissa fell to her knees on the marble floor. Tears streamed down her face. "I didn't know she would fall. I didn't know she would hit her head. I didn't know." The workers stood frozen. Some covered their mouths. Some turned their faces away. Amaka felt her eyes burn with tears too. But Chike stood like a statue, staring at the woman he had once loved, the woman he had planned to marry, the woman he thought was kind. "How could you hide this from me?" he asked, his voice shaking. Clarissa sobbed. "I was scared. If I told you, you would leave me." Chike's hands clenched. "You should have told me," he said. "Instead, you kept hurting more people." Clarissa crawled to him, grabbing the hem of his shirt. "Chike, I love you. Please forgive me. I'm different now." But her words echoed through a room filled with witnesses who knew she wasn't different. Not yet. Not truly. Chike stepped back from her touch. "I need time to think," he said. But before he could turn away, Chief Benson suddenly placed a shaking hand on Chike's shoulder. "There is one more thing you must know." Chike turned sharply. "What thing?" The workers looked at each other in fear. Even Mama Tise lifted her head, sensing danger. Clarissa shook violently. "No, Daddy, please, I'm begging you. Don't say it." Her father sighed deeply, tears falling now. "Chike, the girl who died, her family never forgave us." Chike frowned. "And?" Chief Benson's voice dropped to a whisper. "They sent someone to this city last week. Someone who said they will not rest until Clarissa pays for what happened." Clarissa froze. "What? What do you mean?" Chief Benson's next words sent a cold shiver through everyone's spine. "Clarissa, someone is looking for you." Chike's heart pounded. "Who?" he asked. Chief Benson looked at him with trembling eyes and whispered, "A brother, the dead girl's older brother, and he is somewhere in Lagos. Right now." Clarissa let out a terrified scream. The workers gasped. Chike's eyes widened. And just then, a loud knock thundered on the mansion gate. Boom, boom. Boom. Everyone froze. Because the kind of knock they heard was not a normal knock. It sounded like someone demanding to be let in. Someone filled with anger. Someone who had finally arrived. The guard ran in, shaking. "Sir, someone is at the gate." Chike asked quickly. "Who is it?" The guard swallowed hard. He says he is here for Clarissa, and he is refusing to leave." Clarissa collapsed on the floor, crying loudly. "No, no, no, Daddy, he found me. He found me." The entire mansion stood frozen as the guard whispered, "He says his name is Samuel Okoro, and he wants justice." The room went dark with tension. Because the past Clarissa had buried had finally come knocking. Clarissa curled into herself on the marble floor, shaking uncontrollably. Her father stood frozen, his face pale and sweaty. Mama Tisa's lips pressed together in a worried line. Amaka felt goosebumps rise all over her arms. And Chike stood still, but his heart beat so loud he could feel it in his neck. The guard at the door swallowed hard. "Sir, he refuses to leave. He said he's waited long enough." Chike looked at Clarissa, who was crying into her palms. "This is because of what you did," Chike said softly. Not with anger, not with hatred, but with deep disappointment. Clarissa crawled toward him again. "Chike, please, please don't let him hurt me. You're the only person who can save me." Chike closed his eyes. He wished he could say she was lying. He wished he could say she was being dramatic. He wished he could say she didn't deserve to face her past. But the truth was too heavy. Another loud bang shook the house. Boom. The guard peeked outside again, then quickly slammed the door. He is very angry, sir. He says he must see Clarissa now." Clarissa screamed. "No! Chike, don't let him in. He will kill me. Please." But Chike didn't speak yet. Instead, he walked slowly toward the window and parted the curtains. Outside, a man stood at the gate. He was tall, strong shoulders, hard eyes. His clothes were dusty from travel, and in his right hand, he held a folded photo, a photo of his sister, her face soft, her smile bright, her life stolen too early. The man's jaw was tight as he shouted again, "Open this gate. I am here for Clarissa." The workers inside trembled. Amaka felt her heart twist. She didn't know what the right side was anymore. She only knew that something terrible was about to happen. Chike stepped forward. "Let him in." The whole room gasped. Clarissa screamed in terror and grabbed Chike's trousers. "No, please, Chike. He will kill me. I know him. He hates me. Don't let him in." But Chike gently removed her hands. "He deserves to speak his truth," he said. "And you must finally face what happened." Clarissa's tears fell harder. Her voice cracked. "Chike, I'm begging. If you love me." Chike shook his head. "That's the problem, Clarissa. I loved a woman who never showed me who she truly was." Clarissa fell back, chest heaving with sobs. Mama Tisa rested a hand on Chike's shoulder. "You are doing the right thing," she whispered. But even she looked frightened. Chief Benson covered his face with his hands, wishing this moment had never come. Chike nodded at the guard. "Open the gate." The guard hesitated, then obeyed. The gate swung open slowly. The tall man Samuel Okoro stepped in. He walked with heavy, angry steps toward the entrance. When he reached the living room doorway, he stopped. His eyes landed on Clarissa immediately, and the room felt colder. Clarissa gasped at the sight of him. "Samuel, please," she whispered. But Samuel didn't blink. His voice came out low and sharp. "So it's true. You moved to the city, became rich, and thought you could hide from me." Clarissa covered her mouth. Samuel stepped into the room fully. The workers stepped back, frightened. Even Chief Benson trembled. But Chike stood strong. Samuel's eyes moved from Clarissa to Chike. "You must be the billionaire," Samuel said. Chike nodded, calm but alert. "I am Chike Anderson." Samuel gave a slow, humorless nod. "My sister used to talk about kind people," he said quietly. "I wonder what she would say about you now." Clarissa began to shake even harder. Samuel took another step forward. "Clarissa," he said, "do you know how many nights I cried? Do you know how many jobs I lost because I was too angry to think? Do you know how many times I wished I could bring my sister back, but couldn't?" Clarissa burst into tears. "Samuel, I'm sorry. I swear I'm sorry. I didn't mean to kill her." Samuel's face hardened. "You didn't mean to kill her. But you meant to hurt her, and you did. My sister was gentle. She never fought anyone. She only wanted to earn money to help our sick mother. Amaka wiped tears from her eyes. Mama Tisa looked away. Samuel continued. She cried to me every night. She told me how you shouted at her, how you slapped her, how you embarrassed her in front of guests. But the day you blamed her for stealing, she ran because she was scared. Clarissa dropped her head in shame. And when she fell, Samuel's voice cracked slightly. Her head hit the ground so hard, she never woke up again. Clarissa began sobbing uncontrollably. I didn't know she would fall. I didn't know. But you slapped her before she ran. Samuel shouted. Everyone flinched. Clarissa covered her ears. The whole mansion felt the weight of the past falling on them like a dark cloud. Chike stepped between Samuel and Clarissa. Samuel, he said quietly. Are you here for revenge? The room held its breath. Samuel's eyes burned. Yes, I am here for justice. Clarissa screamed and crawled backward. No, please, please don't hurt me. I'll do anything. I'll pay you. But Samuel suddenly closed his eyes and breathed deeply. When he opened them again, something had changed. A sadness replaced the raw anger. I didn't come to hurt you, he said softly. I came so you would finally admit what you did. Clarissa froze. I came so you stop pretending you are perfect. Clarissa's tears slowed. Samuel continued. I came to let go. Because carrying anger for years has been killing me slowly. I came to release the truth and release myself. Everyone looked shocked. Even Chike lowered his guard. Then Samuel turned to Cheek. But she must face consequences. Clarissa shook her head violently. No, Chike, please, don't let anything happen to me. Cheek didn't answer yet. Samuel stepped closer to the center of the room. The police case was never closed, he said. My family wasn't strong enough to fight then, but I'm strong enough now. Clarissa's scream echoed against the marble walls. No. Samuel locked eyes with Chike. She must come with me. To answer for what she did, the workers gasped. Clarissa fainted. Her body fell limp on the floor. Chike rushed forward to catch her, but just as he touched her arm, something fell out of her pocket. A small black phone. The screen lit up on the floor. A message was displayed. A message from someone saved as secret number. But the message itself was the real shock. Chike's eyes widened, because the text read, Is he suspecting anything yet? We must move before he finds the papers. Chike froze. Samuel frowned. Mama Tice gasped. Chief Benson staggered backward. Clarissa, half-conscious, whispered in fear. No, Chike, don't read it. But it was too late. Because the next line was even worse. Remember, once you marry him, everything becomes yours. Chike felt his whole chest twist. His breath stopped. His hands trembled. Clarissa's secret was far bigger than anyone imagined. Chike slowly turned to the half-conscious Clarissa. His voice was quiet, deadly quiet. Clarissa, what exactly were you planning to take from me? Clarissa's eyes shot wide open in terror. She grabbed his arm desperately. But before she could speak, a second message popped up on the phone. This one made everyone freeze. Plan B. If he tries to cancel the wedding, use the recording. Chike's heart dropped. Recording? Recording of what? His voice came out in shock. Clarissa, what recording are they talking about? Clarissa's mouth opened. Her eyes filled with fear. And then, she whispered, Chike, please. Forgive me. The entire mansion held its breath, because the final chapter would uncover everything she had been hiding all along. Samuel Okoro crossed his arms, watching coldly. Chief Benson buried his face in his hands. Mama Tisa shook her head sadly. Amaka felt a sting in her chest. Not because she loved Clarissa, but because the truth was painful to watch. Clarissa reached for Chike's hand. I can explain. But he moved his hand away. Play it, Samuel said sharply. If she is innocent, we will all know. Chike unlocked the phone. His finger hovered over the audio file titled Plan B, Wedding Backup. Everyone watched. Everyone waited. Chike pressed play. A voice filled the room. Clarissa's voice, laughing softly, then saying, Once I marry Chike, everything is mine. His properties, his shares, all of it. And if he ever tries to leave me, I have the recording of his mother's hospital visit. That will destroy him. Chike froze. His mother? His sweet late mother? Clarissa's voice continued. He thinks I love him. He doesn't know I just need what he has. Clarissa screamed and covered her ears. No, no, stop it. Chike, please don't listen. But it was too late. The recording ended. The truth stood naked in the room. Clarissa was exposed completely. Not just as someone who hurt the poor, not just as someone who caused a death, but as someone who wanted to destroy a good man's life for wealth. Chike closed his eyes tightly. For the first time since the whole drama began, he cried, not loud, not angry, just quiet tears rolling down his cheeks. Amaka stepped forward gently. Sir, I'm so sorry, she whispered. He nodded without speaking. Clarissa crawled toward Chike, grabbing his feet. Chike, please, please forgive me. I was scared of being poor again. I didn't mean to hurt you. Please, I love you. But Chike finally spoke, and his voice was steady. Clarissa, he said, love doesn't destroy. Love doesn't lie. Love doesn't use recordings to control someone. She shook her head desperately. Please don't leave me. Please. Chike slowly knelt in front of her, and everyone held their breath. Clarissa, he said softly, but painfully, I am cancelling the wedding. Clarissa let out a heartbreaking scream. No. Chike continued, I forgive you, but I cannot marry you. You have to face the consequences of everything you have done. Samuel stepped forward. I will take her to the police, he said quietly. She must answer for my sister. Clarissa looked at Chike with trembling eyes. You're letting them arrest me. Chike didn't blink. You weren't scared to hurt others. Now you must be brave enough to face the truth. Clarissa sobbed so hard she could barely breathe, but she nodded slowly. I understand, she whispered. The guards gently lifted her to her feet. Samuel sighed deeply. For the first time in years, his heart felt lighter. As Clarissa was taken outside, she looked back at Chike one last time. I really did love you, she whispered with cracked lips. Chike nodded sadly. And I wish you had shown that love through kindness, not control. Then the doors closed behind her. A heavy silence filled the room. Chief Benson wiped his eyes. I'm sorry, Chike, he said. I failed as a father. Chike placed a hand on his shoulder gently. You are not the one who caused this, he said. We all must face our choices. Mama Tisa stepped forward next. You handled this like a true man with a clean heart, she said proudly. Chike gave a small, tired smile. Then his eyes drifted toward Amaka, the girl who had unknowingly changed everything, the girl who stood firm when everyone else bowed in fear, the girl who held Clarissa's hand, not to fight, but to stop the fight. He walked toward her. Amaka, he said softly, you saved this household today. Amaka shook her head. No, sir, I only did what was right. Chike smiled warmly. That, he said, is why you made a difference. The workers nodded in agreement. Some even clapped. For the first time in a very long time, the mansion felt alive. There was peace. There was relief. There was hope. Over the next few hours, the police came. Clarissa gave her statement. Samuel finally got justice for his sister. Chief Benson promised to rebuild his life honestly. Mama Tisa prayed for everyone. And Chike stood outside the mansion, breathing the evening air. He felt free. He felt lighter. And he felt grateful. When Amaka walked past him, he stopped her gently. You know, he said, you remind me of someone my mother used to describe. Amaka blinked. Who, sir? Chike smiled softly. She always said, a good person is not the one who never makes noise, but the one who stands for the truth, even when their voice shakes. Amaka blushed and looked away shyly. Chike continued, you helped me see the truth today. And because of you, I can start again. The wind blew gently. The mansion felt peaceful. And as the sun set, Chike said one final line, a line that ended everything beautifully. Thank you, Amaka. You made a difference. Just by being brave. Amaka smiled a soft, honest smile. And for the first time, everything ended well. Everything ended with truth. Everything ended with peace. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more videos.